Okay. Okay. Welcome to Mixing with Flavors. Hey, yes. So we have Mark Sr., we have Liana, and we have Woftam, otherwise known as Diamond. So hello.
Hey guys.
And I'm Tam Vapes. So welcome. How's
And
everybody doing?
I do apologise that at some stage during this feed my voice might just die. Currently I sound like a 13-year-old boy with my voice cracking all over the place.
Oh, you're going to puberty again. That's
I am, you know, it happens. It's my midlife puberty crisis.
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh, he's gonna be pulling up in a hot rod soon.
Right?
You're going back in time. It's called anti-puberty.
Well, yeah, it's when all your hair falls out.
Yeah.
Who we got today? Who's in there? Oh, look, Tammy's there, Mark's there, Stalker, Fee,
Smoky Blue.
Smokey's in there.
Oh, Smokey. Whose lap we sitting in tonight, Smokey? She hasn't decided yet, I bet.
We got MJag. Hey, Mike, how are you, bro?
Oh, new to mixing. Nice. Welcome.
Oh, you are in for a treat.
Is that you, MJag? Because you ain't new to mixing if it's you.
Oh, is that a joke then, new to mixing? Okay.
I don't know. If it's Mike, then yeah, not new to mixing. He's the one that wrote the article that I posted up on Mike's page.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So no, not new to mixing.
Oh no joke. It's not him.
Oh, okay, no joke. Okay, cool.
Okay. Not the same MJ.
Oh, well, welcome to the channel and welcome to mixing. Lots of fun and lots of fun, and it can be like, are you laughing at me?
A little bit of information, but lots of fun.
Yeah, a little. I'll try not to be overwhelming with it.
We might actually get some useful information out there while we're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Why is my font so little? I can't even read my screen.
What the font?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. I'm like. Okay, cool. All right. Nick's oh, did you, Stalker? What did you think? How did Nick's brick taste?
Oh Lord!
I gotta ask you, was it salty?
I didn't think about that.
Was it salty?
I have not tasted Nick's brick. Oh Lord!
Oh dear me!
It's a shame. How was it? Please tell us.
Because I tasted it yesterday and it was quite tasty, Nick's brick.
Was it
Mark,
salty?
should we just go and let them talk about it?
But
hold on, they need a moment.
But to be true to the profile of the brownie, we're wondering, not bad. Have to wait. No salted caramel or saline. No, there's nothing like that in it. No. So
That's not salty.
No, so we're wondering. I might have to add some like.
Does it taste like chicken?
Oh my god!
Lost it. Totally lost it. That was an exceptionally funny show, though, Tam. It was very funny. Nick talking about putting post-it notes around the house, reminding himself not to shag alligators. You know?
Yeah, I know, right? That's classic. I mean,
just not something you would expect on a DIY show, really. But you know, just shows it can go anywhere.
So if you're tuning in and you get it together, guys, yeah, it's a recipe. It's a prickly pear type. It's made a cactus. It's made out of cactus cupcake, which is so
It's
we were
mulberry.
calling it prickly pear, so we wanted to call it prick. So, and Nick was naming it, and I said, we'll call it Nick's Prick. So it just worked out. But I do think I'm going to have to add 0.5% of dark chocolate from Vape Train. Stalker, I don't know if you have that.
Just to push push the cake back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, look, I mean, the chocolate mousse from Vape Train is pretty good. But yeah, look, you do, for me, it's probably a little, it's more like a milk chocolate. And if you want a big punch of chocolate, add a little bit of VTA or medicine flour to it. And
yeah, well, I would do medicine
deeper
flour, but I know that nobody's, like 0.01% of people are going to have that.
Yeah, that's right.
I like adding Mullenberry's Glamour Chocolate to the chocolate mousse. It works really well.
Yeah, anything that's slightly darker and heavier will work with that chocolate mousse. It's a really nice chocolate mousse, by the way, too. I've used that
it's
quite a bit.
It tastes, you get airiness when you're baking it. It's
exactly.
It's so weird.
It's fluffy.
Yes.
Fluffy.
Speaking of fluffy, hi, Zippy.
Hi, Zip.
Oh, fluffy. Okay, so I asked people to put in the chat their favorite caramels, and I got Vape Train salted caramel from Stalker, and I think that's all I got. Did anyone else put in?
No, I didn't see any. It was just the Vape Train salted caramel. Oh
yeah, he's right. It's just missing cucumber, but and I said that too, but I kind of thought the
Let's try and guess Smokey's favorite caramel.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I know, right?
It'd have to be Flavor West.
Oh, come on. She's gonna get through that screen and get to you in a minute.
Yeah, she will.
Actually, I love Flavor caramel. That is a really good one.
I do too.
Gives a nice, and if you are, it's a nice caramel, and if you're looking for a brown sugar too, it'll lend that as well.
It's a creamy. It's not super sweet though, which is what I like about it. It's creamy. It's a bit of a longer steeper than most Flavoras. I'd say maybe 10 days to 2 weeks if you're handshaking. But it's a lot like the caramel sauce you put on the top of your ice cream, but just not quite as sweet. So that creaminess to it is really nice. I don't know, you can push it a little bit too, 0.8 to 1.5, is no dramas for that flavor. It's quite versatile, which is good. But we've jumped straight into caramels. Look at us all on track and stuff. What's going on?
Yeah, I know. I don't know how I did that.
As Stalker said, get it together.
Yeah, true.
No, I read that and I was like, boom, let's get it together here, guys. So I see Zippy said TFA caramel. So my question on that one is caramel original or caramel? Because I like TFA caramel, but I love TFA caramel original. And I'm sure that TFA caramel original is full of bad stuff.
Now, there's something weird with TFA caramel original, because there's a lot of vendors you'll see that it contains corn syrup. They actually specify it on their the page where you buy it.
Yeah.
But if you go to the TFA website and search on their shop and use the CAS number for corn syrup, it doesn't come up. And then if you look at the actual MSDS sheet, it's not listed. So whether it's not as original, because even way back, it was being reported as having corn syrup in it. I am not sure that it does anymore. All right, so it's one of those ones where they don't list it on their site, and TPA are pretty open and transparent with what they have in their flavors. So I would suggest that the caramel original does not actually have corn syrup, but at some stage a version they produced did. So Yeah, I do like the caramel original. It's a similar strength to their caramel candy, probably 1.5 to 3% in a mix. The caramel candy it's not super strong. It's pretty forgiving. It's not a terrible flavor. It's just there's much better ones out there. You know, it's think of what are they called, those caramel sweets. Werther's, yeah, like a Werther's candy, the caramel candy. So it's a sort of hard candy, but it's creamy. It's just not super awesome. It's okay. It's like if that's what you've got, use it. But there are better ones out there. So
I like using the caramel candy squares by one-on-one. If you want something a light fluffy type caramel without a huge bite, that works wonders, just wonders.
For the noobs out there, for people just getting into DIY and trying to understand caramel flavors, and if they did have Flavor West caramel candy, what would be your recommended percentages on that?
TPA caramel candy. I haven't got the Flavor West.
Okay.
I would say the TPA in a mix 1.5 to 3.5 ish. Depends how forward you want it too. So you'll see in recipes that people have pushed it all the way up to 5 and 6. It's okay.
I've seen 5 and 6 a lot, quite a bit.
Yeah,
I don't have that particular flavor. I was just asking what questions that.
Fair call. For me, it doesn't change a lot between 3 and 6. So to put 6 in it is just tipping stuff away that you don't need to. You can push it a little bit higher. It's forgiving. It's TPA. Most of their stuff is forgiving, not necessarily the best in class, but yeah. Look, I mean, if you want a Werther's candy, knock it out of the park. Support it with something darker if you want something a bit darker. It's not terrible flavor, and better flavors for sure. I might robot my connection's unstable. Yeah, popped up some bloody rubbish on the screen. But look, when it comes down to it, you can get probably a better caramel. But if you have it in your stash, use it. It's caramel. But
this caramel original, it's got all the bad stuff. It's saying it has custard ingredients like acetonin and acetylproline and something that I can't say.
That's the AP in the DAP.
Yeah, it has all the good bad stuff in it.
Yeah, the good bad stuff. That's the creamy note that you get from the buttery sort of So
I don't use that anymore, really. I use my Flavora mostly for caramel.
Yeah. I got one recently from Decadent Vapors. And I know I go on about Decadent Vapors, but I feel it's fair to include them because some of their flavors are fantastic. Their caramel is a really different caramel to most of the other offerings. It's a really dark, almost burnt sugar toffee type caramel. Somewhere between, say, Flavora and like a hard crack candy from VTA. It's quite dark and I really like it. It's got that sort of burnt sugar bitterness, which can be really useful, if you want to do a burnt sugar crust on a brulee or something like that.
Exactly.
That sort of darkness is excellent. But I mean, when you're talking caramels, you can't really leave out butterscotch and brown sugar too, because all three of them work really, really well together.
And toffee.
Toffee as well. So there's lots of things that you can support a caramel with to make it darker, to change its flavor just a little bit, to sweeten it up some. There are some caramels out there. Flavor Revolution have a nice caramel. It's not super sweet. I haven't found a place for it. It's quite a light flavor, but But if I was to use the FR, I'd probably back it up with butterscotch or brown sugar, maybe even a touch of molasses, just to give it that darkness, that I tend to like in a caramel. Now I'm going to go into medicine flower, because you can't leave that one out.
Yeah, I know, it's one of the best ones, right?
Yeah, it is probably. Well, I mean, it's probably around the same sort of strength. No, it's probably a little bit stronger than Flavora. It's not as forgiving by any stretch. So, 0.5 to 0.8 in a mix. It's butter, creamy, heavy caramel. It's not as strong as a lot of MF flavors, but the combination of, say, caramel MF and caramel Flavora is a good combo to use. Mm-hmm. And if I was going to do those two as a combo, I'd probably use the MF at about 0.5 and maybe the Flavora, I don't know, maybe 0.8, somewhere around there. Get a nice caramel out of that. Has anyone else got caramel coffee with sweet milk by Perlium?
I do, and I know Steve-O does. Down the rabbit dude, and he loves that stuff. Loves it. I, on the other hand, am one of the strange ones that get that weird coffee note. That's
what I get too. Okay. It's more. Look, it's a great milk. Like the milk in it is fantastic. Yeah. It's more caramel than coffee, and because it's more caramel than coffee, for me it's an odd coffee note. Like, it's not super strong. It does burn when it gets in high wattage.
It tastes like burnt popcorn.
Yeah. And if you're vaping at low wattage, I'm sure it's a whole lot different to what I've vaped it at. If you wanted to use it as a coffee, I would say you'd have to boost that coffee with something else, like a FA or Inawa, tiramisu. Oh, so is it up?
The Wonder Flavors Brazilian coffee is amazing. You just put that with anything.
So any of those down low would give you the nice milk that's in the caramel coffee, and you'd be able to hide that slight burny note from the coffee. Unless you're making a drink, really, there's probably not a lot of spots for it in a recipe. You could probably mix it with a cheesecake or a cake. But realistically, unless you're making like a latte drink, a coffee, Starbucks or whatever, it's probably one of those flavors that is a specific use only. It's not you can't push it to anything. You can't hide much in it. You just have to boost what's in it. And for me, the obvious drawback is the burniness of the coffee. It's like someone hasn't cleaned the coffee machine for 6 months and they've made you a coffee, and you just get that mankiness, the burnt popcorn type flavor. But look, I'm sure if you're vaping it down low as in an MTL device, I don't know whether it would work in a pod. Not sure. Never vaped a pod, never mixed for a pod. So, but it might be something that would work in a pod. I don't know. It's not a super complex flavor, even though it's a milk, coffee, caramel. It's not super complex for me.
Smokey just brought something up about a coffee cake, and that's exactly what I was thinking. Other uses other than just a coffee, like, could you not make a caramel coffee cake? And she's working on.
That's what I'm working on. I'm working on. But the kicker is I want to put custard in the middle of it.
Ooh, that sounds fantastic, Mark.
It's right now. It's in my book. It's written down. Everything's written down. I'm just working on the percentages because I need that custard to kick halfway through the vape, and I'll get it.
Yeah, it might take a little while.
Sounds really good.
But yeah, look, the person that gets, like with a coffee cake, it's a tall order. It is really hard to get that coffee that that vapes at all wattage. You know, it's similar in a way to chocolate in that if you push it high, you'll get burnt nutty popcorn. And quite often people use nuts like hazelnut and stuff like that in place of a coffee because they've got that similar nuttiness. And if you suggest to someone that your hazelnuts are coffee, they'll taste coffee. So here, try this. It's a coffee.
I want to use the double mocha coffee from Mullenberry. I want to use that for the coffee cake, and then start using all the caramel layers on top of that. So I'm working on 2 caramels and a butterscotch. So
Yep. Look, I mean,
used that, but I used it really low because I wanted the mocha part of it. I just wanted the mocha flavor and not the coffee so much. So I used it at 0.25% in a recipe, and I just got the mocha, so I was
nice.
Yeah.
The other good thing to add to that too would be the coffee milk froth from Vape Train. I really enjoy that. That goes really good with caramels as well. I mixed it I used caramel butter with the coffee milk froth just to try those two together. It's amazing. It's just really good. I don't know what it is. It's just really good.
I did a similar thing, Mark, when I was the Mix and Vixens challenge when we had that smoked butterscotch latte. There is the Brazilian along with that also, and it worked really, really well together.
Yeah, look, I mean, caramel isn't a super tough flavor to work with. It is really, most of them are pretty forgiving. Some of them, well, one in particular is probably not as forgiving as most of them, and that's the Real Flavors caramel. It's a nice caramel, but you've got to stay pretty low. I actually typed out my notes. That's why I'm looking over here. I've got for caramel SC, stay pretty low, 1 to 1.4 max, and you'll get the nice caramel goo they use inside chocolate bars. If you go too high, over 3%, it'll turn to a nasty chemical fire with a hint of feet. So if you do have that caramel SC from Real Flavors, stay low with it, and you'll get a nice gooey caramel, which is what you're chasing, not feet. Unless of course you're Joel, and in which case you'll convert everything to feet.
So MJ in the chat, who's new or we thought was not new but is new, is asking, what do you think about Flavora caramel? Kapow. Okay.
Oh.
Woo. Okay, let me go backwards. Flavora caramel.
Yeah, that combo you've got there, that would work quite so well. Too. Yeah. You probably want your Flavora somewhere around 1% with that, probably 3-4% of the Cat VC1, Flavora eggnog. Liana, how much do you use that at?
Which recipe?
Any recipe. Flavora eggnog in a custard. Go on, you know it.
Oh gosh, hang on, I'll pull it up. I don't have it right.
Like boom.
Well, I know. You're under pressure. Like
I put you on the spot. Sorry, love. But yeah, look, the butterscotch ripple, you could probably use that. Yeah, I don't know, 2.5-3%, Tam.
Yeah, somewhere it depends.
Yeah,
I have seen a couple recipes, so
I would be tempted to put a little bit of TPA brown sugar, maybe 0.25 to 0.5% in there, just to darken up the caramel and the butterscotch.
About 0.5 on the eggnog.
Yeah, there you go.
Give you a good note.
Okay, here the last time I used that eggnog, it was 2.5%, but that was the main shine for the recipe. I also used Flavora butterscotch at 0.5%. I used rich cinnamon dilute at 10% to 50%. Vanilla pudding by Flavora at 1.75, and Vienna cream by Liquid Barn at 2%. I'm a huge Vienna cream Liquid Barn.
Oh, another
I love it.
Yeah. If you're vaping MTL, you might need to pump those percentages a little bit. I wouldn't go too much higher with the Flavora caramel or the VC1. The eggnog you can probably push up to about maybe 0.7. Butterscotch triple you could go to maybe 4.5 if you MTL. The thing is with MTL, I don't vape. That's not my vape style. So
I have one right here. I'm doing.
There you go. Tam's your girl, because I find that you push your percentages just from talking to people. You'll need to push your percentages probably about 25% on what they were. Not go to 25% in the mix, but say you used 10% overall flavorings for an MTL, you might go to 12.5 to 13%, just depends.
Yeah, I think it depends on. Yeah, you're right. Okay. It depends on your flavorings for sure. Like Flavora, you shouldn't have to push too much. Because like this is the Flavora mix, and I can mix it the same and use it in a direct lung and have the same flavor and versus my mouth to lung. But
yeah.
I'll do it different percentages in VGPG.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't necessarily change the percentages in my flavors on at all.
For me, MTL, you sort of tend to stay a little bit more simple. That's just my feeling on it. I not something I would class myself as an expert on by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, it does. It should be more. Yeah.
Hello, Luke. How are you, buddy?
Hello. Luke.
Mark will cover banana candy for you right now. Off you go, Mark. but
moving caramel. What do you mean banana candy?
Well, there's another great pair, caramel and banana, really, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Peas and carrots.
Well, that's what I'm vaping now is the RY4, and it's the tobacco flavored tobacco, and tobacco and caramel go great together. And
RY4 for me is a dirty caramel. It's like a caramel with a little bit of bite on the tail, which so we probably should have included RY4s in the caramel, because really it's more a caramel than it is a tobacco.
But this is a homemade RY4.
I know the recipe, Tam. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when you made it.
Okay. But what I was gonna say too about Flavora caramel, Flavora butterscotch with it, married together is like heaven.
Yep.
Those two together are like man and wife. Like,
yep.
But they fight all the time.
With lime. What are we talking about with lime? What did I miss? What did I say with lime? Oh, Zippy got her holy grail today.
Woohoo!
She finally got it, and then we burst her bubble the other night and said, "Oh, it was reformulated too," and just like figures. But the new reformulation isn't that big of it.
Holy Grail RY4V2 is a good flavor. Very good.
So, but hi, Roger. I see people saying hello, but I don't.
Hi, Raj. I hope you're feeling better too, Roger.
Yeah, my bubble is flat.
Oh, nothing worse than a flat bubble. But RY4 with lime, that's an interesting one. Can't say I've ever thought of trying that, to be quite honest. But what does it taste like, Smokey? RY4, aside from RY4 with lime.
With lime, I can see adding chocolate. I had a dark chocolate vape with the RY4. What's the one that Fear did? Cardinal, and then ID10T did a version with a dark chocolate in it, and it was so good.
You did a cardinal peach based on that, didn't you?
I did a peach cardinal,
yeah.
I do peaches all the time.
I know you love peaches.
Yeah, I love peaches. Yeah. Caramel, you can do. Oh, that was another thing. I was looking up cute little sayings for caramel, and like memes, you know, and so I couldn't find one that I really liked, so I just put the heading caramel. But one of the memes that I did find was, is it caramel or caramel? What do you say? What does everybody out there say? Do you say caramel or caramel?
Caramel, but that's just my Australian accent.
So Vaping Surveyor just took my song from the dead president right there. Oh, we're interrupting Fidalgo's bath time. Now you really got me squirreling around. Oh my gosh.
Caramel Debbie. I say caramel. I do.
Say caramel.
Caramel.
Caramel. It's all the same.
All the same.
Ooey gooey goodness.
Hey, Vapin Trucker.
Just yummy.
Or birch.
So Fidalgo's saying caramel.
But he's in the tub. It's bubbles affecting his.
The
Vaping Surveyor is about to take a shower, so. Wow.
Caramel cap, anyone? It's not my favorite.
I have it, but am not in my...
Let me go back to my... Which one?
I say, cap caramel. I say 1.5 to 3% in the mix. Slightly scorched, burnt caramel can be supported by the usual suspects. And the usual suspects for me are brown sugar, butterscotch, another caramel, butter. Butter's always good. You know, again, it falls into that realm as if you've got it, use it. I wouldn't be rushing out to buy it.
Fidalgo, do you have your camera?
I don't have it. No. That's why I didn't buy it.
Care of Mel.
I watched Noted to decide which ones that I wanted to use, and so I didn't order the ones that were. I just read up on it. I read all the notes on ELR before I purchased things, and then I went from there.
It's something that a lot of people don't actually do when they're in shop mode. They go, oh, caramel, bang! It's on special, bang, and hit it and get it. And
they don't research to see.
Yeah, look, I mean, when you're buying any flavor, have a look at ELR, have a look at all the flavors, you know, see what other people think about it, see what you be getting, you know,
and what other recipes are out there.
Add it. The ELR has the shopping list function. Add it to your shopping list after you've researched it. Then when a sale comes up, go to your shopping list and go, oh, I want this, bang, 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 bang. It's much easier for you to then keep a tab on, what recipe you want it for if you're actually going to make a recipe. And if you've added it to your shopping list, then you know that you've done your research on it and you go, yep, that's all good.
I carried a little bit further, and I would share my shopping list with my mentors on Discord, or I'd reach out to people that really knew how to mix. Sometimes I'd ask Emily, sometimes I ask Tam, helped me order some new caramels a little bit, like I didn't need them for a specific recipe, but she's on the phone. I asked her thoughts. Like, there's no stupid question except for the one that you don't ask. So don't hesitate to ask people that have knowledge in their flavors. What do you think?
It can save you. It can save you.
Good investment. It'll save you so much money and so much waste. It's heartbreaking when I had to clear out some things when I very first started that I ordered, and I'm just like, this is crap that I will never use. So save yourself the stress.
Hi, Steve-O. How are you, bro? Another one on my, if you've got it, use it. If you don't buy it, is Loran's LA caramel. It's not strong. 2, maybe 3.5 in a mix.
I don't have that either.
Make sure you get
a long time ago.
Yeah. Make sure you get the colorless version. There are 2 versions: one with a color, one without a color.
Get the colorless.
I think we need to move to Wonder Flavors a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of notes on Wonder Flavors, so take it away, guys. That's my caramel list. So I haven't gone into Wonder Flavors.
Do the caramel butter. Do the caramel butter.
Mark, should people buy caramel butter?
Wonderful.
What's that? Sorry, what was the question?
Should people buy caramel butter?
Yes. Yes, the reason why it is versatile is very versatile. It can go with bananas. It can go with hazelnut. It can go with, oh my God, there's every nut you could possibly think of. It's so versatile. You could use it with peanut butter. It's unbelievably versatile. But the only thing is it's a darker type of caramel. You have to watch. If you're looking for a light caramel, you're going to have to go with melty caramel by Mullenberry.
Right. So
But-
what percentages do you recommend to the beginners out there as far as your Wonder Flavors caramel butter that you love, like I love?
1%. If you don't go more than 1%. If you go more than 1%, oh my God, you're just wasting it. You can put the melted caramel by Mullenberry at 3% and then add your caramel butter at 1%. Put those two together. Oh, damn.
Ooh,
It's
nice.
like the outside and the inside of a caramel square. Really
Nice. Mark.
Sounds like a fantastic combo, mate.
And then could you please explain to the beginners out there how caramel butter steeps and the amount of time it needs to come out? It's like, because a lot of these caramels, for me, they don't show up right away. They
caramel
don't
butter
smell
is
right off
instant.
the knuckle. But,
Caramel
I mean,
butter
some of
is
them do.
instant. It's instant for
Yeah.
caramel butter, but melted caramel takes 2 weeks.
Right.
2 weeks
So
to
things
shine.
that they need to know.
Caramel butter, it's totally instant. Oh, give me a sec, my granddaughter wants
And there's Fidalgo. Because you're late to the show,
Hi.
mate. I already spoke about medicine flower. Hello.
Okay, good night.
So as you're saying, it's get off the shaken recipes, but usually the things that you're going to coordinate this flavor with are going to usually require more of a steep time. Would you say that Wonder Flavors caramel butter peaks out at a certain point?
No, it stays the same straight across the board. You can steep it for a month. It stays the exact same, which is totally amazing. What?
There you go.
Oh, 1 second. She wants to do Ugga Nugga.
Fidalgo, mate, I have no idea because I don't have YouTube up and I don't have a time, but it's before now.
Wait, what if somebody asked me the other day what was the difference? Oh, I know what it was. What's the difference between flavor custard and vanilla custard?
It was yesterday. It was yesterday.
And I
So
said
funny.
vanilla. Yeah, there you go.
And then we went on to with the difference between butterscotch and butterscotch ripple was the ripple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
I have the butterscotch ripple. Yeah.
So,
I love butterscotch.
and I
ripple.
like what Roger was saying. Sometimes I got to go back up. He wants more of a toffee than caramel to get the taste
Hanks and caramel toffee.
that he wants.
Yeah.
Oh, I do love Hanks and caramel toffee.
But
I
we're on
also
Wonder Flavors.
love, and I know I
Bit
sound
of a
like,
sore throat, mate.
but I have to say I love Flavora toffee. I just love that flavor.
I haven't
I
got
love
that one
it.
either.
I'm looking at caramels right now, so I don't have that because I just had to isolate the screen.
Yeah,
of
I know,
caramels
yeah.
so I
I
could
have that
focus.
one too, and I like it too. I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Fidalgo and Steve are talking about my puberty voice.
Yeah, it's forced.
Aw. So
You're
I have a
like
question
Mr.
for Mark. I do have a question for you, Mark.
Yeah.
Now, I want to single flavor test my Mullenberry melty caramel,
Yeah.
and I was thinking of doing it at 3%. Is that a good
Yes.
percentage to
Yes.
start my single flavor testing? And do you
Yes.
have that same? Some people on the notes in ELR are saying that there's some off note. Do you get that?
I get a plasticky off note. And I don't know what it's coming from.
It doesn't steep out.
No, it stays there. That's why I like to mix it with other caramels.
When you mix
it's
it with
not-
other
not
caramels,
really.
does it disappear?
What's that?
That when you
Yes,
mix it with
yes,
other
because
caramels, it goes away?
the other caramels are going to hide it. It's going to hide that off note. It's like a plastic. It's weird. For the longest time, I had this as a half a star for all of my mixing because it's good for some, but a lot of things it was crap. But as soon as I started mixing with caramel butter, goddamn, God damn, that's all I gotta say.
A big hello to Dave Marshall.
That goes right to the oh yeah.
Thank you, Mark. That's really valuable information. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I tried everything possible to get rid of that note. I tried adding saline. I tried.
What about butterscotches? When you mix it with butterscotch, did it
haven't mixed. I've never mixed it with a butterscotch. I've only mixed caramel butter with butterscotch.
Okay.
All right. Even do you get that same note even when you write down low, Mark, or is it just when you go?
Yeah, it's the same thing straight across the board. It's always there. It's to me it tastes plasticky. Like
that's what people are saying. There's a strange off note. They can't, no matter what percentage, no matter how long they steep it out.
Yeah.
Do you find that it needs how long of a steep would you recommend on Melty? Is for me to single flavor test it.
2 weeks.
Is it in 2 weeks?
It's always 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks. When it right off the hop, it's very light right off the hop, but then you get that off note. It's there, it's back there. But after 2 weeks, the off note's still there, but the rest of the caramel just shines. You get a good shine of that caramel.
So it's the melty part that gives you that melted plastic feeling. So it's actually designed to be there.
Yeah. So this is good.
Melted plastic.
It's good to know. Thank you very much for letting me know that. I'll put that in the notes.
One more.
I even asked Marcelina, and a lot of people in Europe don't get that back note or out note, but here we get it, but in Europe they don't get it at all. So it could be just a locational thing. I don't know.
Would you say that what was the top of the range that for a beginner that you would push that to in a recipe and then say that's enough? It gets really crazy.
I'd never go above 3. Three's a perfect medium straight across the board as single flavor and as when you're mixing it, because it mixes well. It plays well with others, but there's some, like all flavors will always fight with another flavor, but this one is just so light. It's almost like a light corn syrup. If you add a light corn syrup, you let it sit, let that sit, it will get darker with age. And that's exactly what the melted caramel is. Same principle.
Okay, that's good to know.
Something we haven't touched on is probably dulce de leche, which is.
I just ordered that.
Yeah, in the chat, somebody was talking about it.
Oh, okay, missed that because
dulce de leche with creme brulee. Let me tell you.
Yeah, or a custard. It's a caramel.
Yeah,
and the triethyl citrate. It's the same, has the same effect that the cactus will have. Is it'll blend your flavors in together. So it's a really good one to use with. It's creamy. It's like a caramel condensed milk to me. It is very good, and I think you actually make it by cooking condensed milk.
Yes,
to caramelize it. So it's the TPA version is a really good flavor, and something you should have in your arsenal. But don't go super high on it. You just need a touch of it because it is very creamy and caramelly. So that's classed as a caramel in my book as well. So
when you think of the safe range for that. When you say low, are you talking 0.25 to 0.75? Where you think where's your safe range?
It does depend what you're using it with, but I would say your range would be probably 0.5 to 1.5. Absolute tops. It does. It's quite a bully. So if you are putting it with lighter flavors, you're going to probably lose them a little bit. And that blending effect that it has you'll lose any layers because it'll make the end result juice be a single flavor, lineal flavor through the whole vape. Okay. So it's useful, but just be aware that if you're going for layers, it's probably not. This is not the concentrate to use if you want to layer things and get individual tastes at different stages through the vape. So.
The reason why I said dulce de leche creme brulee is because I have a recipe that I posted in chat. It is
nice.
It's so decadent, but it's a type. It's like a lot of recipes. It's a good dessert recipe, but you don't want to vape it constantly because it's very
rich,
very
yep.
rich.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
What percentage did you use in that recipe, Mark? Because I haven't had a chance. I've got the chat is on my phone. I've got like 5 windows open here. So what percentage did you use?
Dulce de leche Flavor West, I used at 1.5%.
Yeah, it's around the same strength as the TPA. Yeah, Mark. Yeah. I'm not.
Creme brulee in Awera is what I used. I used that at 1.20%.
Would you say that the TFA, TFA Dulce de leche caramel behaves the same way with the same richness?
I think they're the same straight across the board. I get a lot of people say it's the same straight across the board, except the Flavor West has a little bit more deep cream.
Okay.
Is that what the word was? Yeah, it was like a deeper creamy texture than the others.
Not as deep as Flavor West then.
No.
Okay.
Don't have the Flavor West.
This is how you ask the beginner questions.
I also added toasted almond to that recipe. Oh my God, it just popped. You
guys are making me hungry. This episode is making me so hungry.
99% of my recipes are from real recipes in cookbooks online.
Right, same.
That's how I usually mix when I can't eat something and I pick up the recipe.
Let me ask this: how many of you guys have any Vape Train caramel? Caramel.
I just have the salted. I have to have Vape Train salted caramel. Yes. That's like, in my top 3.
Yeah, Melissa does. So I have Vape Train. So I think I have every one of them. I don't know which ones they are.
The closest that I have to a caramel from Vape Train is Golden Syrup.
So it's not very close at all.
I know. Exactly. That's why I said it.
The closest I've got in Vape Train is the musk.
Oh God! Oh,
exactly. Nah, you guys, that musk. I love that musk. I love that musk. I love it.
I'll send you mine. Okay.
Okay. Because over here as kids, like I don't know, musk is a very Australian thing and a UK thing. I don't think it's ever taken off anywhere else in the world really. And you can get these musk sticks in Australia, which they're like a candy stick of soft musk, and they are fantastic.
Like
I love those things.
I thought I was vaping my dad's clone.
Oh my God!
You've got to go super low. Yeah, like you don't need a lot of that. I'd push that 1%.
The granny juice. That's what I call it.
But 1% tops, and you know I love candy musk sticks. And I actually have a juice called Elon Stick, being Elon Musk. And that I love that musk. And it is such a polarizing thing. I did do one called Kissing Comforts because apparently musk, the original musk, which came from the ball sack of a deer, was used by people to freshen their breath before they went out on a date. So I'm pretty convinced that all the musks that are around at the moment are not natural like deer ballsack natural, but you know, it's a flavor that you either love or you hate. It's a polarizing flavor, and if you've been brought up as a kid with musk lollies, then you'd be all over that VTA musk.
I bought a 10 mil. I mixed it one time. I almost threw up vaping it. I couldn't get the taste out of an RTA. Sorry, an RDA. I still have not used that RDA, and I threw up the 10 mil.
So let's talk about Vape Train a little bit. They have a salted caramel that I absolutely. If I want a real salted caramel in something, I will use that over Flavor West salted caramel. But
well, is it actually salty? Because I don't get any salt off Flavor West at all.
You do get a little bit of that saltiness in it, just a little. Not like you're like, oh my god, this is salty. But yeah, you do get a little bit of that saltiness in it, so it's really nice flavor.
It's like someone sprinkled just a little bit of like pink salt over it. You get just little bits and dabs where it's not overwhelmingly salty. You get little just dabs of it in there.
I enjoy that flavor, and I would use it. I don't know. I have to look at my
about 1.5 are usually What would you say the low range is on that? Because that's usually what we used it at, 1.5.
0.5 to 0.75, like accent. This cream caramel, that could be similar to caramel butter. Probably.
I haven't even opened it yet. It's been sitting on my shelf.
Smell it. Oh, is it not open?
It is now.
Smell it and see if it reminds you.
Oh, that's nice.
Does it remind you of caramel butter?
No.
No.
It's a mild caramel butter.
Yeah,
it's definitely like mild caramel butter.
Very, very light caramel, like a cream, like very light cream caramel. So that, but when I go for caramel, I like bold caramel.
I like Flavor West salted caramel. I've always used Flavor West.
It's very sweet.
It is. But I like it too. You get that slight little hint of the salt. It's perfect. So I'll try this one now.
But also Vape Train has a caramel mocha, just like Hankson does. But Vape Train's is more mocha, coffee mocha, than it is chocolate mocha.
So, the hint of banana.
Huh?
Banana.
It's banana. Yeah. No, if you smell this, it smells like burnt popcorn. It smells like straight up coffee. Like that burnt coffee smell.
Yep.
So it's more of that coffee mocha taste than it is caramel. Whereas this caramel mocha from Hankson is just, it's just lovely.
It's just lovely.
It's just lovely.
For all those in the chat that like musk, I've just posted that recipe. It's nothing to do with caramel, but if you like musk, have a crack.
Yes, and Roger says it there very well. I think he means Flavor West. Yes, salty caramel from Flavor West ruins coils fast.
Yeah, it's the sweetness in it. It is exceptionally sweet.
Very sweet.
You know what it is? You posted that recipe with the sweet musk. See, what it was is I was told to single flavor it, not use anything else. I think that's what killed it for me.
Look, as a single, it's close to the musk candy, but it doesn't have the sweetness.
Okay, maybe.
And if you go high on it, it goes floral. Simon? Yeah, you're not making that one.
Why not? No, what I'm saying is maybe I will give this a go and just see how it works.
Look, it's obviously a candy profile, so quite sweet. No sweetener in it, but just quite a sweet profile.
But that sweet candy from Euro Series Capella, that pretty much is sweetener in itself.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a really hands
up. Oh, me!
Question.
Okay. You, Liana.
Okay, so those little candies that you get that usually, oh God, they're fancy. They have like kind of a fancy metallic wrapper, and you open them up, and they have a caramel flavor one, and then it's got a little bit of like a creamy filling in it. I'm not talking about the moo cow, whatever those are.
Werther's?
No, they're not Werther's.
I know
they're one of the older school brand. They're an old school brand of candy, right?
I kind of do.
They're like a thick, caramely, buttery surface, and then the inside has like a creamy note. So if I wanted to make that candy,
Melissa Dockery saying branch from.
I don't. It could be Brock's. Yes.
Brock. Okay, I'm saying.
Yes. Thank you, Melissa. Good job. Because I couldn't remember. I remember having it in the doctor's office. If I was trying to make a Brock's candy and had a slight saltiness to it, okay, I want to know what is going to happen if I were to take the desalted caramel and mix it with a little bit of that dulce de leche, just a little bit, so to add that creaminess to it. But then I really want chewiness. What other caramel would I pick? Maybe just like the regular FA caramel to mix and get all three of those.
Candy?
I have
milk.
The milk. I'm not talking about the milk, just the outside. Just
milk,
the outside.
caramel, candy by Wonder Flavors.
I have that.
I would try that, but you might need a little bit of saline as well. That's
what I was thinking. Add a little bit of the VT salted because it does have that salt.
Yeah, that still needs some more saline on top of that.
It's quite a light caramel. That milk caramel candy. It would get lost in a bakery, I reckon. It would work with another caramel and a chocolate.
Or the other one would be the creamy caramel candies by One on One.
I also have. We haven't talked about it yet. I have cream caramel by Cupcake World.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned that earlier. I can't remember if it was Roger or someone. Yeah, they mentioned that. And I think I have that.
That's out of my wheelhouse.
I haven't played with that one yet. I just know
some of the Cupcake World flavors are fantastic. They really are. The shame about them is they're pretty weak. Yeah, they do have some really unusual and good flavors. So yeah, look, if you're shopping at Chef's or if you go to Cupcake World in the UK, have a peeky bow at some of them. They've got some really unique flavors, and I've been meaning to speak to Roger about the Cupcake World Cloudberry, which I still don't have.
Cloudberry, I don't know about
Cloudberry. Cloudberry is a berry that's it grows wild. I think Scandinavia, high in the mountains, fantastic. Yeah, it is a really unique flavour. If you go to IKEA, actually, you can get cloudberry jam, which is yummo. But yeah, really unusual profile for a berry, and it's quite hard to actually just distinguish it and equate it to other berries.
Did you say IKEA? IKEA?
Yeah.
Okay, I have one question. Do you have to put the
jam assemble it? yeah. And you end up piffing that the little hex Allen key across the room because you put it on a shelf before you put the other shelf on.
Yeah.
Smokey has recipes for the orange and maple candy.
There you go. Cloudberry is a berry of gold, typical in northern Scandinavia. There you
go. Now I didn't get into that
because it is a really, really unique flavour.
All right, let me write that down.
And if you use it in a juice and say to someone, pick what's in this, I near on guarantee they will not be able to identify the fruit you use. And it's So I've been meaning to get, because I spoke to Roger about it, because I think he has one from maybe SSM. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rog. But I've been meaning to get the Cloudberry. Chefs don't have it. That one you have to get direct from Cupcake World. So, and I haven't put in an order.
But a lot of times, if a lot of people request it, they'll get it in.
Yeah. But so yeah, look, if you can find Cloudberry anywhere and it's good, let me know because I'll be all over that.
Do you have percentage recommendations for the milk caramel candy now that we've got on the Wonder Flavors?
1 to 1.5.
Thank you.
For me, you can push it a little bit higher, can't you, Mark?
I don't know.
We got Mark's muted, but yeah, look, I've used it 1 to 1.5.
Which one is this we're asking?
The milk caramel candy
Oh,
from WF.
Wonder flavors.
yeah. I haven't used that one, but probably
I haven't used it yet either. That's why I was.
My suggestion.
I've been messing around with the percentages right now, so I'm just waiting to get to the right.
Yeah, find the sweet spot. For that one, it lends itself really well to a milkshaker and ice cream. I don't think the caramel in it is strong enough to hold up to a bakery. So if you're doing, like a creamy caramel, then yeah, it's the one for you. But it's not one that I'd try in a bakery. I just don't think it's going to sort of
more
stand
like
up to it.
Candies, or just like want to throw all the caramels together and just like see what happens, and throw some beer nuts in it and just call it a day.
Yeah, you can do that.
Discussing about the little tiny percentages, just like caramel meth, caramel suicide.
Interesting. Do you have flavor art caramel, Simon? Did you talk about that?
I didn't talk about it, but I do have it. I don't even. Do I even have it on my list? I don't. Oh no, hang on.
I've used it.
I did have it on my list. I must have deleted it. Oh no, caramel. Yeah, their flavor art, 0.8 to 2%. Creamy, sweet, not overly sweet. Steep for a week or two, depending on the percentage. Think of it as a caramel sauce on the top of your ice cream.
Yeah, nice.
That's my take on that one. For me, I don't tend to add sweetener. I'll use another flavor to sweeten. For that particular one, if I was going to try and sweeten that, I might use it just a touch of Flavora frosting. I reckon would work really nicely in that. Or throw some brown sugar and butterscotch at it as well, just to darken it up some if that's what you want.
That's what I used it.
I found Cloudberry if you want it.
Where they got it, Mark?
The company is called the Flavor Concentrate Company. That's who makes the Cloudberry. Recommended 0 to 5%.
Okay.
It's in the UK.
No, Cupcake World are the manufacturers. So if you go to, I think it's Cupcake-World or just cupcakeworld.co.uk, they're actually pretty cheap concentrates. They're about TPA strength, so they're not super strong, but there's some really unusual and nice ones in there to have a peek at. And you order them in a pack. You might select a pack of 10 and then choose 10 flavors, and it's not super expensive. I don't know how their shipping is, but I don't either. I've been meaning to run by and go through some of their flavors, because some of them are totally different. Like the very first honeycomb that came out was actually from CCW. It was a honeycomb ice cream, I think it was. And that is really nice. I think, do they make the Malaga ice cream as well? I think it's theirs. Is it? No. That's sashimi. I can't remember. But yeah, look, there's some unusual. If you go to Cupcake World, I think they've got about 400 different concentrates. So they've got quite a considerable range, and they're some of them are very, very good. There you go. Some flavors, Cupcake World, totally wicked. I can't even say that name, Roger. Bolhurst. Oh yeah, there's a cloudberry. But yeah, very unusual flavour. I love the cloudberry jam. Not related to caramel whatsoever, but all good. Hey, Monster Man. What else have we got on the list, Tam? Caramel wise.
That's what I was just trying to look. We did TFA, we did Pella, we did Flavor Art. Inawera.
I don't have it, so.
I don't have anything like that.
Oh, I know Roger out there's got to have Inawera.
Let me check. No Inawera for me, but I do have some others that we haven't discussed yet.
Oh, you do? Okay, what do you have?
Unless
if you were to choose one caramel to rule them all, Goose Girl, I would certainly say Flavora. If you don't care, Flavora for the price, Medicine Flower for the flavour. So those two for me are the best in class.
Roger's saying Inawera is a dark caramel that fits nice in cocktails.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, don't have it. Don't have it. Should probably.
Any of you in charge, I will be right back.
Oh, no.
Don't run him
Mark, we're under pressure to behave now. But yeah, look, I mean, if you're going to choose one caramel to rule them all, and you want probably the most versatile, yeah, well, there you go. That's exactly what I was going to say, Mark. The caramel butter, most versatile. Caramel flavour, best flavour is Medicine Flower. Best probably all-round flavour percentage use, you're looking at Flavora. So they're my.
If you don't mind this deep time, it would definitely have to be melty caramel. But you're gonna have to watch. That single flavor, it's got that off back note that no one can really figure out. So yeah. But if you're mixing it with other stuff, you're all right.
Yeah.
Caramel in general is one of those ones that has to steep for a little bit longer than most flavors. Like the Flavora caramel, I reckon 10 days to 2 weeks. You know, which for a Flavora flavor, that's really unusual. Like Medicine Flower, you're looking at 2 weeks to 3 weeks. You know, but that's fairly typical with Medicine Flower. I would say that there's no one caramel that is absolutely perfect straight off the shake, except the one you mentioned before, Mark.
Yeah.
So
there's the color. That's the color of melty caramel. Okay. Nope, sorry. That was wrong one. That is melty caramel. It's really light, super light. But that's caramel butter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 3 unusual flavors that I have not played with, because they have other flavors in there, are Wonder Flavors Caramel Rice Krispie Treats, Wonder Flavors Caramel Popcorn and Peanuts, and Wonder Flavors Caramel Cinnamon Roll.
Okay.
Caramel popcorn and peanuts. There you go. We should have covered that one too, Tam.
Let's talk about caramel Rice Krispie Treats for a minute.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Okay, I absolutely love that flavor. It is a beautiful caramel. However, it is not Rice Krispie Treat.
What is it?
It's a beautiful caramel. It is absolutely great. But it will do. It is that type of flavor that if you wanted to make that, it is that type of caramel that would go in that profile. So
no Krispy Treat.
Help to me. What's that?
It's not. You don't taste the Krispy Treats at all.
No, there's no crispiness in it at all. But the flavor is absolutely fantastic. I would
add the Flavor West Rice Krispie type to that caramel.
Okay.
It blow your mind.
Oh, tell us. Ooh.
Oh, Mark.
Oh, I'm not there. I'm not there.
You're not there?
There's other recipes. There's more recipes to come yet.
What would be your recommended percentage on a starting point on that?
On 3%.
Not true.
I wouldn't go more than 3% for the Rice Krispie type, and for the caramel, don't go any more than, I'd say 2.5.
On which one?
On the caramel Rice Krispie one from Wonder Flavors.
2.5.
Yeah, I wouldn't go more than that.
Oh, you can go higher.
You can, but I would use caramel butter. But that's me.
Oh, see, that's never mind.
But see, caramel butter is good straight off the bat, isn't it, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
I like caramel butter, but I don't love caramel butter. Like
I do. I love.
I like it a lot, but I don't love it. I like it a lot, but I don't love it.
When you start mixing, you'll start getting your preferences, and you'll be like, you'll be like, you know what you like and don't like and stuff like that. So it just all depends on the profile too, what you're using it for. Like if you're putting it, am I frozen or is Mark frozen?
No, I'm just not moving.
Oh. Sorry. So you'll find out, like, if you're using like this caramel Rice Krispie treat and Luke Loop saying it's dry to him. So yeah, it's because it's intended to be used as a Rice Krispie treat. So it's going to be a little dry, but it is a great flavor. But if you use it like with ice cream or something like that, it's going to come out really nice.
Pistachio ice cream.
Marshmallow and cereal.
Yeah.
And
pistachio
that's
ice
a good
cream.
idea. Their new marshmallow and
yeah, I want to make a marshmallow Rice
I haven't even
Krispie
thought about that.
Marshmallow gooey with pistachio ice cream and some of that caramel Rice Krispie. My God.
Yeah, that would be good.
Oh.
And maybe some waffle cone.
Oh.
It's over for us. It's over.
Belgian waffles by Liquid Burn. Oh my God. That would.
Was there a long steep on that, Tam?
No.
On who?
On the Wonder Flavors caramel Rice Krispie treat. Did you give it like a week?
About a week, I would say.
I always go 7 days, then try it and let it go from there.
Something Roger mentioned, and it's so true. Many DIYers have forgotten the beauty in the change in taste of steeping. And look, when you're first starting out, it is super duper tough because you want something to vape right now. Because you've got nothing there. And what I would suggest to you is if you're interested in your caramels and your bakeries and stuff like that, make a few of them, then make some fruits. Vape the fruits first. You know, if once you build up a bit in your store of finished juices, you will understand the difference that a steep can make, particularly to a caramel, butterscotch, bakery, cream, ice cream, because they change daily for, you know, sometimes up to a month, sometimes 2 months, depending on what you're using. But I get it that when you first start out, I need something right now. I need to vape it now. I need to vape it now. So, you know, if you're not a fruit vapor, it's tough.
Very tough.
What you might have to do is vape fruit for a little while stuff's waiting, you know.
But here's the thing: if you like it off the shake, vape it. But do yourself a favor and make you some more steep.
This is why I mix with jars, because that way I have a huge stockpile of other juices put aside that are going to steep.
That's what I've learned to do. I started out with the fruit, then I started getting a little bit of the bakeries because of the mix and fix and photo challenges, and I had to wait like so hard.
That as ingredients taste shit, but far better when it's baked.
Excellent analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, I mean, and before anyone who's new goes chasing and asking these questions, we were going to do it. Did we ever do that show? I don't think we did on steeping, because there really is probably in the DIY realm no real way to speed it up. All right.
No.
If you go and spend a couple of $1,000, like $5, buy a high share mixer, go nuts. If you don't care about money, you can pretty much take anything straight off the mix and vape it. But it is out of the realms of most DIY. So, you know, a lot of people use their paint stirrers and whatnot. Will they speed it up? Yeah, maybe by a day.
Yeah.
You know,
how much are fantasies?
Yeah, exactly. So you know, like the best thing to do, if you're handshaking a mix, let it nap. Forget about it. Chuck it in a drawer.
For a while.
Yeah, keep it in a dark
for a while, and then put it away.
Dark
or
cool
if you're a
place.
girl,
Yeah.
Put it in your bra. Let it sit until you can't feel the temperature anymore. No joke. And put it away. That'll take maybe a day off, but that's it. Or a heated mixer. I have a heated mixer, but I have homogenizer fantasies. Yes. I can't afford that.
Oh my gosh, no.
The
no
last
way.
time I used a warm bath one time with mixing, and stupid me not paying attention to the temperature, and I warped the tops of the bottles. So I turned the bottle upside down. I squeezed once and.
Oh man.
That's how Fidalgo steeps his juice when he's in the bath.
In the bathtub. Oh my god. I can see him right now, little bitty bottles floating around.
Yeah, floating around.
He's got floaties. He's got floaties in the tub.
You just added a
I have
whole
my
new
little bottles in the nap right now.
It's a whole new
Through the
visual
napper.
to bathtub vape mixing. God.
I can just see him there sitting there in the bath, surrounded in bottles, going, drip, drip.
All right. What about caramel popcorn and peanuts?
Bathtub mixing. Oh my gosh.
What about caramel popcorn and peanuts? How accurate is that? Does anybody know?
Oh, that is. Okay.
I do like that one.
The
Is
peanut
it got all the
in it,
ingredients?
the roasted peanut is fabulous.
No skin?
Spot on. The caramel is there. The popcorn is a little bit there. You need to boost it. If you want to make that profile, you need to boost it. The popcorn, you're going to want to boost the caramel. But that roasted peanut, spot on.
Do you taste any skin in those peanuts?
Oh, yeah. I'm crunching on it all day.
Girl, I'm being for real here. I'm asking some legitimate beginner questions and trying to help out these people. These hard questions. One of the things.
I don't get skin. I don't get skin from peanuts.
I thought you asked if I chewed on skin. I
asked you if you got skin. If you taste skin from the peanuts in here, killing me. Okay.
You know what's sad is I've had that flavor forever. I've never used it.
Oh,
oh my god! I love.
I'm gonna make some
flavor.
sticky balls with peanuts. Sticky balls and nuts. Sticky.
Well, you're gonna want some skin to hold them together.
No, I don't want to taste the skin.
Is that what you're worried about? You need
No,
the skin to hold
skin.
it together.
No, one of the big complaints about peanuts and things that I've been reading from all my like overload of studying flavors is sometimes one of the complaints is they can taste
the bitterness from the
skin. Yes, of a very authentic peanut.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm asking you.
No, I would not say you taste skin like that.
Outstanding.
No.
Thank you. So it has really good nuts.
No.
That's one of those ones that can do with a little drop of saline too, and it will enhance the nuttiness of it without the skin.
There was a peanut butter one time I had, and you could really taste the bitterness of the skin from, like, it was really fresh type of peanut butter, and it was a vape. I can't remember who made it, but it was really good. But I tasted that bitterness of a skin in the back notes.
So as the primary of this, if you're actually making a good sticky popcorn peanut ball or a brittle, what percentage would you recommend to?
I think it's about 3, 2.5 to 3.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 is good spot.
Okay.
Good spot. 0.25 of saline over the top, and you'll pop those nuts.
Popcorn, add it right to it.
Yeah.
Some people use kettle corn. I know I've seen that, but I like flavor popcorn. But
back in the day before popcorns were invented, AP.
Daytime Frank's in the house. He heard the word balls
Frankie.
and sticky.
Yeah.
Talking, I like sticky stuff. I always name sticky this, sticky that. Sticky
you can use
nut cone. Yeah, it's good. Sticky's good.
You can use a little bit of AP with popcorn as well. Look, I've seen people using AP super duper high because they want that corn note. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Here's a suggestion.
You said 0.25 of saline, right? I'm so sorry.
Okay, Mark's got a suggestion.
Honey roasted peanuts by Wonder Flavors. You can use that with any other type of peanut, and you get or sesame candy by Wonder Flavor.
Yes, sesame candy.
You use that with a little bit of caramel. Those two together, unbelievable. It'll blow your mind.
Yeah, Smokey's bang on it. 0.2% beer nuts. So the beer nuts have a little bit of skin though, don't they too?
Yeah.
I really need to get my hands on the saline. I need to get off my butt and order that because
just go to the chemist.
It's not in the store. It wasn't in the drugstores. You can't get the grade of saline in the
they'll have it. They'll have it. You might have to ask for it, but they'll have it for sure.
Okay, I'll ask for it. Right. By the way,
BP, for those that are wondering, BP 0.9% saline, and the reason it's the BP is because that is the injectable version. Yeah, there you go. There's one of the little pods. And so the water in it is absolutely sterile. You don't want to use it. Don't use it super high. You don't actually want to taste salt from it. What you're doing is you're going to be enhancing. You're not trying to get salt from it. If you go high enough that you get salt, what will happen is it will affect your coils, and it will also make your vape quite spitty. So you get lava shots to the gobble, which is not super pleasant. So I would say to you that 0.25, 0.3 absolute max in a mix, and once you open the bottle, unless it's a sealed unit with a like a lure lock on top, don't leave it on your bench, because straight away that you've opened it, if it goes, whatever you use goes into a mix. After that, use it to clean your nose, your eyes, wound, whatever, but don't use it in a mix, because the water will get germies in it and you will get floaties and a slightly rotten, as Roger says, it'll give you a bad taste for the water, like brackish water if you go too high. So stay low, and it forms into what they call aqueous VG, because it'll assimilate into the mix. But if you use it high, vial?
Like a vial,
sealed vial, look, the ones I use, I've got little 3 ml ones. Mm-hmm. So not super not super big. Don't waste a whole lot when I use it. If you pour it into a bottle, the water is still exposed to bacteria and stuff like that for algae. So I'd use the little plastic disposable ones and either toss it or use it to clean your boogers afterwards, whatever you want to do. But
that's what I wanted, this little plastic twist, you twist off the
you just break open the little plastic vial and a couple of drips in there.
With me, because I have a constant either PICC line or some type of IV, I have like 1,000 of these filled with saline. So I've always got a good supply.
Yep, straight out of the IV into the juice. Beautiful.
Yes, that's what I do. Yeah. And it's 3 drops to 30 mils.
You like it?
So there's only one left, guys.
You like him on your computer, Mom?
Only one left?
Flavor West Caramel Cinnamon Roll. I have that. I have never played with it. It's just sitting up there. I don't even know why I have it.
Yeah. Never heard of it.
Yeah. It's one of those things from back in the day. Like, I'm like, do I need this? Does anybody in chat know anything about Flavor West Caramel Cinnamon Roll that I bought before I had a brain?
No idea. I haven't.
Okay, then. We'll just leave it out there.
That's like me. I buy all the flavors I want, and then I'm like, oh, there's one I don't have any clue about, and then I grab it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that for Talgo. I'd actually get, if you get these ones, they're little 3 mils. Little 3 mil ones, which are I don't know whether it's focused. Yeah. Hang on.
Yeah, they sell eye drops like that. Yeah.
It has acetone in it. That's it. And it does have an MSDS. And it says its median is 4% on ELR. Let me read some notes on it. It smells good. I can smell the cinnamon. I can smell the bakery and the caramel.
Did you say hickory?
Bakery.
Oh,
Sorry.
bakery. I was going to say hickory. Holy
I need
shit.
to enunciate
If
clear.
it's got a
Okay.
hickory in there, I'm grabbing it.
Zippy Zone.
Let me see if I missed.
Zippy Zone says, okay, where was it?
Churro.
Well, you bought for a Cinnabon recipe. Flavor West
Just
Cinnamon roll is good. Add some Flavor West churro.
That Flavor West churro is amazing. Oh my god.
Is it?
Mark.
if anyone would like any of the SDS sheets from Flavor West, I have them all here. There are certain CAS numbers that you have to look out for, particularly in Flavor West, because their flavors are really not ever been geared towards vaping. So when you are doing your research, have a look at this thread on ELR. It's pretty much all the Flavor Wests and the CAS number that they contain. So sugar syrup, fructose, actual molasses, sucralose isn't so much a problem. Some of them have salt, which is something to bear in mind as well. And there's some which may contain may contain traces of nut, or may because they have actual peanut essence in them. Now, actually, someone posted the other day about a TPA flavor that actually had in their ingredients vitamin E. Now, it is, as far as I'm aware, though, someone was getting back to TPA about it, but it is not the same CAS number as vitamin E acetate. So it's, I would say it is a lot different, but I really would like to, someone got on, lemon lime, there you go, Stalker, thank you. If someone got back from TPA about that would be pretty good.
We missed one.
Basically, what is contained in that lemon lime is ascorbic acid. Now, whether ascorbic acid is safe to vape, I don't know, but it is definitely not vitamin C, vitamin E acetate. Oh, sorry, no, ascorbic acid is vitamin C, not vitamin E. My mistake. I can't remember the specific acid, but it is an acid that is there. It is not the same as vitamin E acetate. But look, at this stage, if you don't want to use it, I wouldn't use it. You know, do some research, have a look around. You know, it's a different compound. So,
I don't have a recipe.
Do you read what Roger just?
Yeah. I was just reading that then.
What's that? So I found another caramel that is really good, but it's a specialty caramel. Scorched caramel from Vape Train.
Dark burnt caramel.
Yes, a dark burnt caramel. You have to use it really low, like almost 0.25%, if not lower. But it gives that like burnt caramel note.
I don't have that one. It sounds similar to the Decadent Vapors caramel, which has that brulee burnt sugar scorch note to it. But
it is really good. I mean, it gives that little bit of that note that if you're looking for that. If
you're looking for a darker, you know, more slightly bitter caramel, which is actually very pleasant and great in custards and stuff like that. So
I did a candy or something with it. I gotta.
You know, we talked about the Henson. Sorry.
Go ahead.
We talked about the Henson caramel toffee for a second and then never actually discussed the details of it. Has anyone used the Henson caramel toffee?
No, mine's on order.
I just got it.
It's a very nice. Wait,
Light,
no.
medium, dark.
No, I have caramel mocha.
Okay, I have Hank's. Hang on.
Where's caramel? Let me look this up.
See, I'm gonna show once we're done with this one. I have
Mustics.
Oh God.
Oh, he's squirreling.
No, it's okay. I'm pulling certain flavors that I want to flavor, single flavor test out of our discussions.
I got one that you'll want a single flavor test.
It smells very strange. Smells like it really needs to steep a lot.
I got one for you.
Okay.
This Indulge by Mulberry.
Yeah, okay. I have that.
Okay, tell us about that.
Raspberry custard with a very beautiful type of caramel. This 10 mil didn't last more than a day.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
What did you just pour it direct in your vape?
Oh,
in your dripper?
I used this with the melty caramel in a recipe, and I made like 120 mils. But by the time I was done, I was like, "Shit, I ran out." This is really good. It's really, 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 really good. The raspberry that's in it is a very, very back note, but you get everything else right up front. It's really good. I got
Which one is this again?
Indulge.
Indulge. Okay.
Roger, if it's an open group, feel free to share the link. It's a bit hard to share. If you put the image up on, say, ImageGur or something like that, you can paste the link to that in the chat there, mate. If you've got an account with them, and that might clear up a bit on the.
What are we trying to do?
He wants to post a bit of info on the vitamin E contained in some of the flavors.
Oh, okay.
But I just want to stress it is not the same CAS number as vitamin E acetate. So it is not used in that respect as a thickening agent. It is, I would imagine, used as an acid as a bitter additive to the flavour. So it's I would say it's probably grass, but I don't know. I would really like some more information on it. It would be pretty useful, I think, for a lot of people, given the situations that is occurring.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is one of the things that as you move into DIY and get a little bit more heavily involved in it, that you tend to research your flavors a lot more than you do when you first start.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And what I would stress to someone who is starting out is ask a heap of questions. If you're unsure of a flavor, ask. I mean, everyone sort of says, "Oh, there's that guy. He's always asking about flavors." And look, when it comes down to it, if you're asking for taste, you will get back from pretty much everywhere. Taste is subjective. I like it, but you may not. And that's pretty much going to be your answer. What you have to do is when you're researching your flavors, if you find a mixer that you like their mixes and they use that flavor, generally you are going to be okay with it. All right. But you know, if it's hard when you first start out finding those mixes that have a similar palate to you. A lot of people start with Wayne and Fresh and you know, the guys in our crew.
Fresh was mine. Everything that Fresh did, I loved, and it's his tastes are identical to mine.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got to you know, find a couple of mixes that you agree with their palate, as in your palate is similar to theirs. You like what they mix. You like how they mix it. You like the flavors. You can follow on from there to say that if you like what they mix, then probably the flavors that they are using in a lot of their mixes are going to be palatable to you. But research on ELR and all the flavors and have a look at the ratings on the recipe. Like, you can see that there's a lot of flavors there that have massive numbers of use in recipes. It doesn't necessarily mean that that flavor is an outstanding flavor. It means generally that it's been around for a lot longer than some of the others. So have a look at the notes, have a look at the number of people that give it a star, because realistically, if people have taken the time to actually rate the flavor, then, you know, there's something in it that either is really shit or it's really good.
Right.
So if you see something with, you know, 10,000 4-star ratings, then you're pretty much going to expect that yeah, that's pretty good. So don't just rely on sheer numbers, although it is something you should take into account. Have a look at ratings and notes, because everyone will taste everything different. If you find someone that has a similar palate to you, run with a few of their recipes.
Exactly.
And just follow them. It'll get you started and get you used to going through the process of mixing stuff. And I'll tell you right now, absolutely without a word of a lie, those first 3 or 4 months, you will mix 100 recipes. You know, you will just go nuts. The simple fact is, out of those 100, you might like 10%. All right.
Yeah, you will be wasting VG and PG and sometimes nicotine.
Yeah. So count on the fact that when you're finding your feet, it's going to take you a little while to find that inside track to someone's flavors that you like. You've also got to have a look at the date. Have a look at the date on the recipe on ELR.
Yeah.
If it's 2015, you know, it may well still be good, but you've got to remember the development of devices over the last 4 or 5 years have changed considerably. And something that you used to vape at 15 watts on a little MTL is probably not going to actually taste too awesome on some of the banging mods that are out there now, where you're pumping 80 or 90 watts with, you know, a 0.1 coil or whatever. So the date will play an important part as well when choosing what is out there. So if you look at the highly rated recipes on ELR, most of them have been there for a long time. Not to say they're shit, because there's many nice recipes in there, but don't just rely on the fact that it's a highly rated recipe.
And many of the flavors have changed as well. They've removed, like, a lot of the diacetyl. They've removed a lot of the flavors are all version 2s, but they're not showing up as a version 2. They're just removing the diacetyl.
Yeah.
They're removing all the sugars and all the other stuff. So they're just
and Goose Girl's totally right. The older ones, perfect for MTL. I mean, if you vape in a similar style prior to sub-ohming everything came out, then look, they're probably still going to work for you. And you know, the real trend, I suppose, Stalker just asked, for newer devices, the real trend, I think, started, you know, probably late 2016, early 2017, where yeah, I just saw you time it when. So the sub-ohm devices that you see today are developed from that more or less that date. Everything prior to that was a whole lot less power. There are a few exceptions to that rule, but you know, like if you call early 2017, you'll notice that over that over the time from 2017 to today's date, flavor percentage overall has dropped. I would say, on average, probably about 30% different to where it was back 2016, 17.
Yeah, used to it was 20% mixes all the time.
Yeah. And you look at the average mix now, you most of them are half that, or even some of them a quarter or lower.
Yeah.
You know,
lower would be boring.
So yeah, look, just don't necessarily rule out a recipe because you look at it and go, oh, shit, that's got 20% flavour. There's a little feature on ELR that you can go to that recipe, hit the blue wrench, change overall flavour percentage.
Yeah.
And you can knock it down to a percentage which you think is reasonable. You know, you can, yeah, there you go. 2012 was 30 to 40% flavour. But so yeah, you can get that recipe, adapt it onto your profile, hit the blue wrench, change overall flavour percentage, and you might change that down to 14% or you know, somewhere around those lines. You can make it as is at the 20% and dilute it till it hits your flavour palette until you like it, you know. But you've got to bear in mind that, you know, with some of them, if you make a 30 ml, then you're going to make a 60 ml to dilute it. Yeah. So you sort of just got to have a look at the year of manufacture and look at the mods that were around at that time and adjust your flavour percentages accordingly. I mean, if you're just straight off the darts, new vapor, some of those high flavour percentages might hit the spot for you perfectly. So, you know, you've just got to have a bit of a play with it. And you're into DIY, so that's, you know, that's what you do. You make it your own. And change things as you see fit, which is the beauty of this, is we can all adjust everything however we want, you know, to whatever we taste, which is awesome. And g'day, Paul. Exactly. How are you, mate?
So I put in the chat the email if you are a new mixer or you know of a new mixer, or if you want to be a teacher to a new mixer or a mentor or something along that line. TEACHMEDY@gmail.com is a, what do you call
initiative?
Initiative. There you go. That's a good word.
Yep.
That Vapin Trucker's starting. That's going to have a lot of people that's going to be able to help mentor some new mixers. Get started, how to work with nicotine properly and things like that. So if you are interested, email that and you will be put in touch with someone that can help you properly.
I was speaking to Mike about this the other day. If you could include in that email whether you are an established mixer or a new mixer, and if the country that you're from would also help, yes, and or time zone, because what he's going to try and do is pair people up with a mentor that is in a similar time zone so that you're awake at the same time. You know, there's no point in sending a message to your mentor at 3 a.m. in the morning. Oh, what do I do with this? So, because they'll just go, what? What are you emailing me for?
I pull Australia for my mentors simply because at 3 a.m. you are awake.
Well, yeah, but I mean, most normal people, I'm saying, Liana.
I'm not normal. No, I wanted to taste the little note that we were talking about. It's not bad. It's just a little bit in there. We were talking about earlier. I had to mix it up.
And here's a link to our Facebook group, O'hm Grown Alchemy. And I think it's also down below in the info, but there's just so much info down below, so it's easy to miss.
The mixing helpers.
Make sure you join.
And Mike's.
Oh, the group.
Yeah.
The group
I'll just pop that up.
That's what she's talking about. The group to the. Oh, what is that group?
Mixers helping mixers. So that group's up there. I just posted the link for that.
So just bear with me.
I've done it, mate. It's all good. You've got it covered.
Oh, you got it? Thank you.
Got it. That's all right.
See?
So yeah, look, jump on that page.
Look at the pictures. I acted, but I'm not.
Didn't you see the pictures I put up?
I just see it. I just saw it.
But yeah, so look, there's an article that I linked on that page written by MJAG Mike, and it is a very good article. He's going to be doing 2 more. He's trying to pushed me into doing the second one with him, and I'm sort of running out of time, so that's a bit hard. But it's a very good article. It covers some of our we came up with on VC. We came out with a few must-haves at pretty similar time to the developed list. So he includes those in the article. There's some really versatile and good flavors in there. And you know, when it comes down to it, I think the hardest thing to do when you're starting into DIY is that fear that you are going to fuck up.
Absolutely.
Don't stress about that. As long as you handle your nicotine properly, you use your percentages properly. If it tastes like shit, it can be fixed. Sometimes it can't. Sometimes it's a tire fire and you tip it down the drain. But you will learn more from a broken mix than you will from a successful one. All right? So
exactly.
All of us, it doesn't matter how long you've been in this game, doesn't matter how long you've been mixing, you mix tire fires. And if you don't, you're a bullshit artist. So do not think that you are alone in mixing a shit mix, because we all do.
Yeah.
All right. So there's no right, there's no wrong. What's right is what's right for you. And, you know, you will have some absolutely disgraceful juices. All right. Trust me, they can be fixed with menthol. So
actually, it could be fixed with pouring it down the. Never mind.
Look, if you're broke as broke,
and you need to,
you know, your shit mixers can still be vaped. You can hide all the flavors in there with menthol. You can make it work. I got a mate of mine that keeps a suicide bottle on his desk, pours all his bad mixes into it, adds menthol, gives it to his missus to vape.
My husband won't vape menthol, but there are some things that I've handed to him, and I just watch his face and he goes, no. And
wow, isn't that funny?
That's reality, though. That's reality. And I'm like, oh, I just needed to make sure it was just as crappy as I thought it was.
Yeah.
You know, that happens.
But I remember you were talking about, I remember when I first started mixing, I would get anxiety because I'm sitting here so stiff and like I have this nicotine and the bottles lined up and just, you know, am I doing this? It says 15 whatever grams, whatever it is. And
I went to 15.3. I've ruined the whole thing.
Yeah, and you're thinking, yes. And it was 1 point. I remember one time my stepson, whatever, came in the room. It was 1.2 grams, and he's like watching me. He's like, squeeze that bottle, Miss Tammy. He's like, you're going, like you only are at 0.2, and you're going.
But yeah, look, I mean, if you go over, you go under. Learn from it. It might make it better.
But as you go, you learn, like some mixes, yes, like a drop will make a difference. With Flavora, yes, a drop makes a difference.
Yep.
With certain,
that said, a lot of new mixes, and I wish someone had said this to me when I first started, because I got a bunch of flavors from a bunch of places, and your gut feeling is to go with your TPAs and stuff like this. If money is an issue, sure, but when it comes down to it, some of the like the Flavoras and the flavor arts might be a little bit expensive, but when it comes down to it, the percentages that you use are lower. The flavors taste better. So sometimes it's an economic thing to actually spend that little bit extra and get a better flavor and use it at a lower percentage. So a lot of mixers will gravitate towards your Flavor West, your TPAs. They're safe flavors. They're in the top recipes on ELR. So yep, they must be good. that is not necessarily the case. Something my dad used to say to me is, buy the most expensive that you can afford at the time after you've done your research. All right. So
somebody was being mean to you.
Oh, me?
No. She said someone recommended African horned cucumber as one of her first concentrates to buy.
You poor thing.
Yeah, nah, probably not the best.
Yeah, I
idea.
mean, it has a place, but not.
It does have a place. It's not a wide. It's a place that you look for versatile flavors when you're populating your stash. Look for flavors that will all work with each other, and then research and find the best of those flavors. You know, it's false economy to go and spend $3 on TPA when for $5 you can have FLV. You know what I mean? And value versus cost, as Fidalgo said. If you math it out using, say, the average usage on ELR of buying a 30 mil of TPA for $5 or whatever it costs versus buying a 15 mil Flavora, you find that with Flavora you will save money in the long run. And this is something that with MF as well, medicine flower, the buy-in price is steep as buggery. You know, $22 for a 13 mil really, but the usage on that is quite low. The flavor is generally excellent. There are a few dogs like there are in every flavor line, but it's a false economy to think that because you're spending more on flavor, you're spending more on your juice end product. It's not necessarily the truth. So, and that's like, I bought a bunch of flavors, and we've all done it when we first started. You get this crazed look in your eye and go to a shop. Yeah. Tammy still does it. but you go to a shop and you select stuff that, oh shit, I think that sounds nice. No research, nothing, just go bang, 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 bang. Yep, that sounds, if that's a it's not the way to go. Kid a lolly shop, absolutely. I want to try everything. Everything. You're never going to collect the Pokemon set. All right. Oh yes, you can.
I was in a place that was making like my favorite juice. So I asked him, like, not for the recipe. I said, but what are the flavors in there? So he told me the 4 flavors. I did exactly that. This is pre-research, pre-noted, pre-YouTube, anything. I went to, oh my gosh, was it Perfect Vape or E-Cig Express or both of those? And I ordered like all these watermelons, all these apples, on all this stuff. And then my husband, he likes bubblegum. No research. I have like some bubblegum flavors I'll never use for him because he doesn't like the juicy fruit flavored bubblegum. He doesn't want a coated one. It's kind of a powdery, dry, like old school bazooka bubblegum, which is a very specific flavor. And it takes some serious research to find that bubblegum, which I eventually did. But I'm trying to mix this, and it was just crazy. And I was like really mad because I think I wasted probably $65. Be that in some pre-made freaking Nick base that was just peppery as all get out. Then I said, okay, let's slow down and let's start watching Noted. Let's start watching Develop. Let's start watching the shows. I jumped on Discord, started asking a bunch of questions, and eventually got to the point where when I'm trying to fill out the rest of my stash to be able to keep up with you guys on the show, like, let's mix this. I actually sought the help of, it was Alfred Pudding, and he put together a list of what he considered his must-haves. And then I just selected out of the categories that I knew I was going to use. Like, I knew I wasn't going to be a tobacco expert. I don't really care for them. So that wasn't my strong point. So I picked out the fruits. I picked out the bakeries. I picked out the creams. I didn't order all of them, but I have 2/3 of that list. And it really helped just asking questions and all that research. It does.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Ask away. There's probably 300 or 400 different strawberries. There's
that's strawberries,
and all of them are different, right? But there are some that stand out as excellent. There are some which are okay. Ice creams, same deal. Creams. There are always those standout ones where if you ask someone who's been mixing for a little while, if you were to choose 2 creams, which ones would you have? If you were to choose 2 caramels, which ones would you have? And they'll be their favorites. And if that mixer has a similar palate to you, knock yourself out.
But I need all the ones I have.
Yeah.
They each have a different use.
Absolutely. But I mean, I've got flavors that are sitting in the fridge that I bought for a specific reason that didn't fit the profile that I wanted, and they've remained unused. And we're probably all in that situation where we've got maybe 30% of the flavors that we have don't get used at all. What I would suggest to you, if you find yourself in that position, grab that flavor and build a recipe around it just to, use it at least once. You might find an absolute gem that you haven't played with.
I purged last night. I purged. My stash went down from like 722 to 680 something.
So let me ask you this. When you say you purge, do you throw them in the bin, in the trash?
I had them in a box. Ones that I just found superior flavors to that I knew I was not going to use this flavor.
Right.
And then last night, I actually added a few more to that box, and I literally got rid of them because I wouldn't want to pass on the best
pay it forward.
I wouldn't. Some of these I thought about that, but they're not going to be able to get some of these flavors again. And I'm not going to name names, but they're not going to be able to get some of these again. So why would I want to send it here? You use this, and you're not going to be able to re-up it. And you built a good recipe around it. So some of them aren't going to be available. I'll explain more. All right. I'll explain more later.
With some of the flavors that I had from years back, one of them, Flavor West Yellow Cake. I know I know a lot of people love it a lot. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I choose not to use that because of the sugars in it. However, the kids love it in ice cream, and that is what these food flavors are designed for. So put it in a milkshake, put it in ice cream.
That has a lemon note in it still, doesn't it?
Mate, it's been 4 years since I tasted it. It's a heavy sweet cake that gums up your coils in about 10 seconds.
That's right. That's that one. That one. Yeah. I love that one too.
Yeah. But yeah, look, so there's other uses for the flavors. You don't have to use them for vape. If you've got a shit flavor that tastes horrible in your vape, you can't get the percentage right, try it in a friggin' smoothie. It might work out perfectly for you.
I have a lot of them in the kitchen just for that I add to ice cream that are just fantastic, or to flavor other things. I absolutely
yellow cake
V2. Is that a yellow cake Flavor West V2, Paul?
I doubt it's Flavor West. I don't know.
I just use Jungle now. I like the Jungle flavors. It's a 1-to-1 sub for the Flavor West. Not quite as sweet and
one of
good,
those soda streams. That sounds really cool.
And if they're citrus, add them to your beer. Poo yum.
All right, we've kept people almost 2 hours now. So
we've been bullshitting on for that long. Wow.
Yeah, we've
get carried away, don't we?
We've been talking some good stuff. So thanks everyone for watching. Loki's gotta go to bed. So I gotta get on the right screen. I don't know where it went. So just bear with. Okay. I'm on the right screen now. Okay, cool. So thanks for watching. Remember to advocate. Well, let's just do what Fresh says. Educate, advocate, and be good to each other, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So contact your people, whoever they are, your congressman, your queen or king. That's what I told.
There's a big long list. There's a big long list on that Grim Green posted on the bottom of his videos, which is really good. I replicated that on ELR in a thread called A Bunch of Links. There's a heap of links there. Have a look. Especially find your representative. Find your representative and find out what they think about what's going on. It's really important, but to keep it short, do epic shit unless you're too tired or cost too much money, in which case do affordable shit and make time for naps. But you can find us all on Facebook, on O'hm Grown Academy, on Mixers Helping Mixers, Alchemy, my mistake. Mixing in the Kitchen, we're all there, Discords, you'll find us if you need us. I'm sure you'll hunt around. We're everywhere.
Everywhere. No, thanks again, guys, for real.
Thanks for joining us, guys. And if you are a new mixer, make sure you send that email and we'll try and help you out.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.